We've had lots of talk about 1.5 degrees and how critical that threshold is. They've even, since the promises made in the first few days of COP, there's been a lot of excitement saying, well, we could be down to 1.9 degrees already, and then 1.8, I think the International Energy Agency came up with. So, a few more days we'll be there without actually doing anything. But this ignores the fact that at least one paper has been published this year which says we are committed to a 2 degree plus global average temperature rise, that is already baked in, and that the issue is how long it will take to get to 2 degrees. If it happens very quickly, then we're in trouble if we take no action. If we do take serious action to slash emissions, then we could put it off for decades, maybe a century or more, but it's going to happen. So this talk of 1.5 seems to be happening in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And the same goes for net zero in 2050, which will be much later than crossing the 1.5 degrees C threshold in any case. So we'll have to involve massive application of technologies for pulling carbon out of the atmosphere, technologies which simply don't exist on a major scale. I really also think that most of the world leaders do not get the climate emergency. They don't understand how bad it's going to be. Otherwise, why would Joe Biden, in his first few months in office, issue more than 2,000 new licenses for oil and gas exploration? It makes a nonsense of his fine words. Why would Boris Johnson say, yeah, we can do this without a single hair shirt in sight? Well, we can't. They just do not seem to quite understand how bad things are and how bad they are almost certainly going to get. And I think there's an issue with individuals as well. And that is that when you talk, certainly when I talk to individuals and talk about 1 degree, 2 degrees, with many people that doesn't really register because the numbers are so small. They think, well, fine, another 1 degree of warmth, that'll do me. Very nice. They don't realise this is a global average temperature. They don't realise that at the poles we're talking a number of degrees more, and that of course is where all the ice is. So that's the critical point there. And this is one reason why I've been banging on for quite a long time now about the fact that there is no public information campaign about the climate emergency in the UK, and as far as I know anywhere else in the world, which is extraordinary. We've had campaigns like this for everything else pretty much. In fact, I spend a lot of my time when I'm working listening to Scala radio. Every 5 minutes there is a public information short saying, if you break down on the motorway, pull over to the left. I mean, literally 20 or 30 times a day. But what about the climate emergency? Why is there nothing? And I suppose it's because we can't imagine the current regime trying to promote less flying and trying to tell people not to buy SUVs. So if we do need something, if we do get something like this, it's going to have to come from the outside of government, I think. Anyway, I haven't even started the 3 points yet.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said it.
Full solutions. I mean, I think Andrew knows my feelings here. We're talking really about technological methodologies for behaviour, for avoiding behaviour change. In other words, let's keep things running as normal, let's keep capitalism in the fast lane. It's not a surprise that geoengineering methodologies are supported by the fossil fuel companies and by tech billionaires, because it means they can continue doing what they do as long as possible. So without going into any great detail, technological solutions as a group are not conducive to behaviour change, and they cannot be allowed to go ahead. I mean, one of the most bonkers ideas, I suppose, is trying to pump large quantities of sulfur dioxide or other gases into the atmosphere in order to simulate a volcano and bring temperatures down. As a volcanologist, as well as someone involved in climate science, I know what happens after major volcanic disasters, and they have enormous impacts on the climate. They can cause famine, they can cause drought, they can cause, as they did in 1850, the year without a summer. So, this is not a place we want to go. Carbon offsets, I think we all know, again, that these are designed to stop people changing the way they operate, whether as individuals or as corporations or as governments. Probably some of the worst schemes of those used by the airlines, whereby they fund NGOs to protect areas of forest which probably didn't need protecting in the first place. There are many schemes in all sorts of areas, all parts of the world, and they simply don't work. It's just an excuse for doing nothing. Notice I'm whizzing through these things now. I think one of the issues that is most disturbing about offsets is the chat by our current Chancellor a few days ago, wanting to make London the hub, the trading hub of carbon offsets on a large scale. And that is nothing less than capitalism monetising the climate emergency. And it's not a place we want to go either. And very quickly, scientists aligning their behaviour. Well, there are two aspects here which are worthy of mention, I think. First of all, scientists need to be seen to be walking the talk, if you like. They need to be seen to be changing themselves. If they're demanding behaviour change of everyone else, then we need to do the same. And it's one of the reasons why the Science Over for Climate is up there for people, climate scientists, to sign up to, and others. And you can go to the Scientists for Global Responsibility website if you would like to do that. The other point is that not enough scientists say what they say in private, in public. And I think this is a really critical issue. I've talked to so many people who are really gloomy in private, but in public will not say the same things. They will, and we need scientists to say what they really think in public, not just in private. That's vital, absolutely vital. I did call upon scientists to do this in an open letter a few months ago, which had a lot of support, and I'd like to think that maybe this is something that will change, but it really does need to change. People need to know how bad it's going to be before they can respond to that. And I've probably gone over now, so I'll stop. Thank you very much.